welcome to another episode of the Greater Culture Podcast with our Meet the Member series. And today, excited to be joined by two staple members of the gym here. We've got Byron and Anna, 4:30 p.m., 5:15 p.m. staples. So excited to get to know you both a little bit better, hear about your fitness journeys. So thanks for being a guest on the podcast today.
Yes, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, always like for folks to get to know our members. So we'll kick it off. Just tell us a little about yourself.
So I'm Byron.
I'm Anna.
And we've been members for
almost 2 years now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, about 2 years now.
Since the gym actually opened its own facility.
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, because we just are starting year 3 now in the physical space here. And so, what do you all get to do for work? What are your day jobs like?
So I work at a private school in Durham. I am their field manager.
Oh, me? I am a project support specialist for a construction company.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun to hear what everybody does for work and then how that balances out with fitness and family. And I know we'll get into all those things. So tell us a little bit about what your health and fitness journeys look like, especially like when you were younger and kind of growing up. Did you play sports, or how were you active, or what did you get involved in?
So for me, I was always outdoors. I did some sports a little bit growing up, baseball mainly, kind of your typical, Southern thing to play a little bit of baseball. Didn't really get very deep into it because I was always outside with my dad. He gardened. I was lucky enough that he was older. He retired when I was about 6 years old. So he always had a big vegetable garden, like 3-4 acres. And we were always outside doing something, turning into being very avid outdoors, hunting, a little bit of fishing. My grandfather was huge into that. So always outside doing something. And then my senior year of high school, I played a little bit of soccer, and then carrying into college, didn't really, kind of did the freshman 15 plus. Didn't really do a whole lot through college. I was at NC State, and after that, it just kind of continued until about 6 years after that. And I was like, I need to start doing something. And funny enough, like at work, we started like a lunch little gym class. Did that for a while, changed jobs, didn't really like where I was, went back, and the lunch group had kind of dissolved. So then I was like, hey, I've always heard about CrossFit, so I kind of said, let me try it. I started at another local gym. It's no longer here, but I started with their light class. So their light class was mainly dumbbells. You use the barbell for back squat, bench press, and everything else was dumbbells. You really didn't get on the rig. That was 3 days a week. And then after a while, I was like, I like this. I need a little bit more. So I went to full-time there, and this, kind of started with that. And this is actually going to be my 10th CrossFit Open coming up. 10 years.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So Anna, what was your journey like?
So for me, I grew up playing tennis. And then in middle school and high school, I played softball, tennis, and basketball. So I went to a little small charter school in Graham. So if you were on the team regardless. So I was okay, but I just kind of grew up in the tennis atmosphere. My sister played tennis, and that was just kind of our family sport. And then after high school, I didn't really do anything. And then kind of in the college years, I grew to like running. So I was signing up for like a bunch of 5Ks, and we ended up being that family that did the 8Ks on Thanksgiving. And then in 2014, I got pregnant with my oldest, and I gained 100 pounds with her. And that's when I started my CrossFit journey after 6 weeks after I had her. My sister, she was starting a new gym there, and she asked me to come try it out. And because she did it for about a year, or was already in it for about a year. And I was like, hey, I guess I want to do it. And so I've been doing CrossFit since 2014.
Wow, so you're also coming up on 10 plus years.
Yeah, I took a little break after my second, or probably between the year of 2019, 2021. I was kind of in and out of like Globo gyms. That was kind of also the time period when I moved to this area, because I am originally from Burlington, so North Carolina native. And I moved to this area about 2018, 2019. I would drop into a local CrossFit gym every once in a while, but then I it was in Anger where I resided, and there was no CrossFit gym there. So I went to like this little hole in the wall gym, and I came back to CrossFit in 2022 after the pandemic and everything was normal almost again.
Yeah. So you found CrossFit via a friend. Byron, you said you kind of did a little research on your own, or did you know anybody who invited you to it?
So I had a friend, and him and I, we never committed to it, but like we worked together and we always would talk about it. We actually did Planet Fitness while we worked together, and then he moved on to another job. But, him and I would talk about it. We'd watch a little bit of the games and everything. And then it was just like, when I was actually looking for something, I was like, well, let me look. And at that time in the area, there wasn't the 5 or 6 CrossFit gyms like there is now here in the Holly Springs Fuquay area. There was like one, maybe 2. Yeah. So I just said, well, let me try it and see. And like I said, ate the cookie, and now I'm coming back for more every day.
Yeah. And so what was it that drew you in some of those initial classes or that first year? Because I think people get a pretty good sense right away of like, either I really like this and something I want to keep doing, or maybe it's not for me. So what was it that you either enjoyed or that you liked that made you want to keep coming back for more?
Well, for me, it was the group atmosphere. Like I said, I had that kind of lunch crowd, previously, and then finding this crowd that I kind of fit in with at the gym. And then the gym itself was very inviting, and we had a lot of great members. And honestly, they're still some of my best friends to this day, even though the gym is no longer there. So it's just the community aspect, the group classes, you're all pushing and struggling together, but when you're done, you're a better person for going through it.
And I think that was for me too. Like I said, my sister, I watched her do it for about a year. And when she actually went to her foundation class, I actually went to that as well when she started. And I said, no thanks. I'm going to stick to the treadmill at the other gym. But then, like I said, after I had my first daughter and gaining all of that weight, I was like, I need something that can hold me accountable. And like I said, they were kind of starting a new gym. So it was kind of like founding members. And I really loved the coach and everything like that when I was doing my foundation classes. And they really were teaching you the movements and stuff. And just all of the members were inviting too. It was like, okay, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love it. I think community is one of the big things that gets people to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Having both been in it for a little over 10 years now, talk about how some of your either goals or the things that you're working towards have changed. I think for a lot of folks, they usually come in the door because they want to maybe lose some weight or maybe change what their body composition looks like. But then when you've been in it for a while, your goals can shift and change. Sometimes you're like, oh, I want to be competitive or try and get my first muscle up. And other times, like, I just want to survive and just, be healthy generally overall. So talk a little bit about how some of your goals or how things have shifted for you over those 10 years, especially having kids and families and things like that.
Well, for me, it was more so like after there's a 6 years age gap between my oldest and my youngest. So during like that small little time frame, it's like my initial goal was to lose weight, and I finally like lost that. And I was like, okay. So then I started progressing, like, okay, I want to get a pull up. Okay. I want to get a handstand. Like, and I was able to get all of that. And then when my life kind of transitioned to the relationship I was in with my second's father and everything like that, just that kind of went away. And then when Ember was born, that was during COVID, everything was shut down. Didn't really do anything, going to a hole in the wall gym, maybe lifting a little weight, but I gained 80 pounds with her. And so it was like, okay, well, I need to do something. And when I became a single mom of 2, I was like, okay, I need to do something again. So I found the gym that we came from. I found that gym and I was like, okay, I can do this. And of course, the first day I walk in, it was 50 wall balls. And I'm like, oh no, I am not ready for this again. And I went back and I was like, yes, I'm back to where I need to be because I can't hold myself accountable by myself. So that was kind of my thing. And now with my goals, it's like, I just want to continue to move my body. My body's not made how it was 10 years ago, but as long as I show up for myself, that's kind of my goal now.
Yeah. And I think that speaks a lot to how you can adapt what the movements are. You might see 50 wall balls. And you're like, I don't know, but you can find ways to adjust and adapt and move with how your body feels at that given point in time, with regardless of kids or whoever else it might be, which is one of the nice things about CrossFit as well, is how it can adapt with you as you figure out your own life.
Yeah, it's like all of those movements that I was able to do, I can no longer do, but it's like I can still work towards that, and it's just little baby steps, and it's like it's okay, because of course there's skill options that you still get a good workout with. So, and I really love that aspect of it.
Yeah. So how have things changed for you over those 10 years?
Like it's huge changes, because starting with the CrossFit Lite, you're not really doing any barbell movements to say, okay, I need that. I need to see what the classes before me are doing. And so you get in there. So that's your next goal of, okay, now what can I do with the barbell? And then you start adding your gymnastics in. And then it's like, oh, they're going to a competition. And then you do a first competition and you say, maybe I want to do another one. And so you kind of run the competition scene for a little while. And then next thing you know, you're like, okay, maybe not so much with the competitions. So then you're just kind of living is how I did. And then, switching gyms, going through some life changes, dedicated a lot of time to the gym itself. And, I've never went competitive, but I ended up doing very well in the open. So it was kind of ramped up for that. Did quarterfinals. So that was the goal, kind of the goal of once you saw, hey, I'm right there, maybe I can finish and be a quarterfinals athlete. And then doing that, which was exciting, and kind of was a little wore out afterwards, and kind of come back down after that. So then it was like, okay, well, now I'm back to survival. Yeah. Okay, now I'm coming to the gym, doing a little rehab on some nagging injuries. And so now with being with Anna and the girls, now it's just trying to survive, come in, get a couple of good workouts in. Every once in a while, you'll catch that workout and you're like, okay, I can really push here. But the goals now are just to continue to move and continue to stay healthy. Yeah. Because that's what I kind of figured out is, you went through the first stage and you're kind of gaining muscle, everything's increasing. You can still eat like you want to, but then it's like, okay, well, now if I want to progress a little bit more, I've got to dial my eating in and, really, really focus on stuff. Yeah. And so that's kind of where we're getting to now, is just a little bit of that and then mixing that with family life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of a natural progression as you get invested into it, you get involved, you see some of the gains, you're maybe getting the first pull-up, moving the barbell around, and you get really excited, you see what that can do, but then life happens. And so you're a family of three girls. Talk to us about how you find the balance between fitness and family and taking care of all those things, because from my perspective, what I see is a lot of times when people have kids and get families involved, it gets really hard to find time to fit workouts in or to eat a certain way. So how have you all figured out and navigated that?
I think for us, it's kind of been a very structured routine. Like the girls know, like, okay, they get picked up from school, we're going to the gym. Finley, my 11-year-old, has always gone to the gym with me. Even when she was 6 weeks old, she's always came to the gym. So she knows the atmosphere. And then it's like, I feel like I've always had a child with me at the gym. And it's like, we've always made that as a priority. Like some days they're very hard. That's why sometimes we'll sign up for class and you don't see us. And that's because life became hard at home. But we just kind of made it a structure routine is, okay, we're at work, you're at school, I pick you up from school, we go to the gym, and then we come home, we eat, repeat type thing. And that's just, we make it a priority for us. And it's very important for me for them to see us do that because they see us working hard. I want them to know like this is normal. And so I don't want them to think like they're just going to the gym because that's what they want to do. It's like, no, like we do this because we want to stay healthy to keep up with y'all. 3 kids at 3 different stages of life, it's very difficult. So.
Schedules are busy. I know that, especially as they're getting involved in activities now. So now there's certain nights where they're gone and certain nights where they're here. And so it's I imagine there's a lot of scheduling and planning that goes into that as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like you sometimes you're just in it and you're like, I don't know how we're going to survive, but we have 3 hours until bedtime. We can do it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes me and Byron just look at each other and we're like, we have 1 hour, just one more hour until bedtime. So, but I think we've managed pretty well with it.
Yeah. And I think it's always great too when kids see mom and dad working out, and like after class when they go out there and they start replicating or kind of mimicking what they saw, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, like it's good to show them that it's good to move your body, work out, have some fun with it along the way too, and have a model for them, if you will.
Yeah. In the middle one, she'll definitely, when we're in the garage, if we're not able to make it into the gym, she'll try to copy what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
it's fun. It's fun to see the kids really do that, I think.
Yeah.
And so as you've continued to kind of find balance with your family and fitness, and kind of looking at what some of your goals are now of just continuing to move and be healthy, be ready for your kids, what are some of the things that you look forward to when you see them programmed in our workouts? So when you start thinking about like your favorite movements or favorite things that if it's programmed, that's a day that you definitely want to be there.
For me, like the workout of Cindy with your pull-ups, push-ups, air squats, that's always one that's kind of fun. Just 20 minutes chipper, just keep going as far as you can. That's for me.
I hate squatting. So I'm a power person. Give me a power clean or even snatches. I like a good chipper workout sometimes, but I also like the quick like AMRAPs, like anything with a machine I really love. So
yeah, I love the short ones too. Those are my favorite. The long ones, Cindy's like starting to bore. I'm like, whoa, this is a long time to keep moving. So I know we already said wall ball is not necessarily one of your favorites, and squatting. So let's flip it. And what are the movements that if you see them programmed, you're like, I would prefer to skip today? Maybe I'll go in, but I'd prefer to skip it. What are some of your least favorite movements?
Like I said, wall balls. And I have one speed with running and one speed with burpees. They just can't go any faster. They most likely can go slower, but I have one speed with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that was the thing. It's like, I used to love running. Like before I started CrossFit, I loved running, like trail running. Like I would sign up for every 5K in the area. But now I'm like, I hate it. Like, it's like I sign up for like these 5Ks and I'm like dying at the end. I'm like, why did I do that? And it's like, and I used to do this for fun. And I'm like, how did I do this like 12, 13 years ago? It's like now I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And then I sign up again.
It is funny how things can evolve over time, where all of a sudden you're like really into one thing and it shifts and goes a different way. And then maybe it comes full circle, maybe it doesn't. But
you didn't tell me when we did the turkey run that year that it was an 8K instead of a 5.
Yeah.
That's how you trick people.
Yeah.
Just keep running. We're not done yet.
It's like, and that was the thing. It's like we were that family that ran 8Ks on Thanksgiving. Then it turned into that was the only time I was running. Yep. And then, of course, I would use the excuse, oh, I have a kid here. Like, I can't run.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I really need to run.
Yeah. Hard to do so with some of the cold weather we've had lately, but looking forward to some warmer temperatures. So Byron, how about you? Anything that you would like to not see programmed?
Just box jumps just seem slow for me. There's just, like you said, with your one speed of running and burpees, just box jumps are just can't never go any faster. I'm just kind of stuck in this steady, one gear.
Kind of trudging along with those ones,
But I guess with the 10 years of doing it, nothing just makes me go, well, I am 100% not coming today. It's just part of the aspect of your programming cycles. It's like, you need to go and do it.
Yeah.
But there's just, some days are way more inviting than others. The bad days the badly programmed days are still good days to come in.
Yeah, especially those days where you see stuff you like, a workout that's a wheelhouse one, you can really kind of push yourself hard, feel really good. And even on the days where maybe it's not a workout you're really looking forward to, you can still get a lot out of it, which is always fantastic.
Yeah.
So you both mentioned you've been here for about 2 years now, really, since we got into the physical space. So over those 2 years, what would you say are some of your favorite things about coming here or being part of greater culture?
For me, it's from the day we came in, it's always been inviting. It's been welcoming. Everyone's talking to you after the workout. There's, fist bumping, high fiving. Hey, good job today. And everyone just seems included, which is one of the bigger things that I've noticed from being at this is my third gym. For being at my third gym is the inclusivity of everybody here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's a very big community aspect that drawed us close because, we came from another local CrossFit gym and we really teeter-tottered on if we should make the switch to here. And that was one of the aspects. Granted, we live literally behind here, which we walk. And so it's like, okay, well, this one's a lot closer than the other one. But that was kind of the true factor is the programming is spot on. Like, what you're getting. Like, you have programs, you have anything. Sorry, child's hacking along over there. But it's like, there's a structure to the programming. And then there's also like he said, like the community aspect is unmatched. And so that was what really drawed us in from where we came from.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common experience that people are looking for something from an individual perspective to help with their own personal health and fitness. And then once they experience it, it's usually the community that keeps people invested or involved or wants them to continue moving forward. And that's what really helps with some of that health and fitness to make it 10 years in terms of doing it.
Well, that's the thing is you've got to keep your people coming back, and if it's a non-inviting space, then they don't want to. Because anyone that hears CrossFit, you immediately think of the games athletes throwing down, shirts off. That's 1 or 0.1% of CrossFit. This is CrossFit here, where it's just normal everyday people coming into the gym. Yeah, it's not the games athletes.
I think that's what surprises some people is like they walk in the door expecting everybody to just be like shirts off, doing crazy stuff. And it's like, oh, I can relate. Like I look like those people. They're doing movements that I know I could probably do as well, and coaches who can help you along the way. And so for anyone out there, kind of like you said, who maybe is a little intimidated or this idea of CrossFit might seem really intense, what is something you might share with them that might help them with their fitness journey?
Well, for me, I'm always just like, just give it a shot. Because there's people here at this gym that will see, me doing a muscle up or something of that nature, high skilled gymnastics. And I'm like, you don't know the 10 years that it took to get here. Trust me, if you saw me in year 1 or year 2, I'm the same as you are right now. And it's just take your time with it. I feel like a lot of people want to rush to be that games athlete, that high skilled gymnastics. And it's like, hey, just slowly get there. And it is infinitely scalable. Every once in a while, I still drop the hints to my mom. She's, started walking again. She's down 25 pounds, which is great. And I'm like, I still want to kind of nudge her every once in a while. She's like, I can't. I'm like, Mom, it's infinitely scalable. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter if you're 16 or 66, like you can come in and start. Yeah. And it'll change your life. It has ours. And like I said, lifelong friends, great communities. You never know what you're missing until you've been here a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I kind of piggyback off of him. It's like he said, just try it. Like, it's not like where you're walking into like a Globo gym and you have your headphones on, you're in your own space. Like, you're with people cheering you on. You're with people giving you just the encouragement to be a better you. And I think that's kind of why I come back. It's like, I might not be feeling myself that morning, afternoon, but when I walk in here, I know that like I'm in my own space, like I'm releasing tension, even though it's like, yeah, you're lifting heavy or you're doing something that you really don't want to do. But at the end of it, you're like, I'm really glad I did that. So it's kind of also making yourself proud as well.
Yeah, I think the sense of accomplishment and continuing to see how you progress in a variety of ways, whether it's what you're doing in the gym with what you're lifting or movements, whether it's how you look and feel about yourself, that progression gets people excited to come back. So,
and also, you never know, you might find your spouse.
That is true. There have been a number of spouses who have found each other through CrossFit in a gym. So you get people who like doing the same thing and appreciate fitness. Never know.
I mean, 3 years ago, that's where we ended up. So we were in the same gym, different classes, but even living in the same apartment complex, and didn't really notice each other until one of the gym members had a birthday party and he asked me for a ride home. And I said, sure, you live literally outside my window ever since. Yeah. So
CrossFit love story.
I know. Yeah. It's my favorite love story.
Yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate having you as members here at Greater Culture, bringing the family through and showing up every day for those evening classes. And so, Byron and Anna, thanks so much for being a guest on the podcast, and thanks for being members here.
Thank you.